All right, we're ready to go. Riding shotgun. We got Elfie with us today. She's like geeked up, out of her mind, ready to roll. Yeah. Hey, come here. You ready to go? You ready to go? Ready to go? Oh my. What a beautiful morning. Wednesday. And what's the date? May 23rd? Sounds right to me. And you know, this is a slow time of year, which is okay. You know, we've got a little of this and a little of that. We've got things to talk about. I think this is probably crooked. Sorry about that. I better get my seatbelt on too. I always try to wear my seatbelt, even though I'm not on roads. As a good example to the kids. All right, locked in. I was seeing where Lovey's taken the football staff to some camps and clinics and so forth all over the place. I saw they have one in Georgia, one in California, 2 in Texas, 1 in Missouri, a couple in Illinois. Getting out, getting in front of high school coaches, getting in front of these communities where people can get to know them better and you know, hopefully view them as a more viable option for their kids, particularly in some of those faraway places when you're trying to convince a kid and his family that coming across country to Illinois could be beneficial to him, as opposed to taking the easy way out and just saying, well, let's just play out here in California. There's a lot of colleges out here, which there are, but and the same in Texas and so forth. So kind of cool to see them go out and do that. I was talking to my friend Lauren Tate yesterday, who you know, usually on Wednesdays, or a lot of Wednesdays, they have just a group of guys that gather at the bowling alley over in Champaign, and a lot of times that includes Lou Henson, and they just get together and have lunch and shoot the breeze and solve all the problems in the world. It is a more percolating time when the Illini basketball season would be in full swing, for instance, where they can sit around and analyze what happened in the games and all that business. And Lou has not been doing great health-wise. He's had some struggles. Has mostly been, he was in a wheelchair for a while. He's been using a walker. But Lauren was saying that at lunch, I think it may have been just the other day, which would have been a non-Wednesday, but that Lou was doing really well, better, and made the comment as the day was wrapping up that the next time they met for lunch, he was going to ditch that walker and he'd be back on a cane. His legs are getting stronger. He's getting stronger. He is so remarkable, just as a human being, who just is the all-time fighter through his cancer and basically lack of any kind of an immune system. So that was really good news to hear that Lou's feeling better, just ready to go on. You know, mental attitude is important, and his attitude is let's go. And I love hearing that. I also expect in basketball, we know that Brad Underwood's got offers out. They're trying to get, you know, lock up another big man here or there, and you know, they're working on guys who we really haven't any knowledge of, certainly firsthand or first sight. Still waiting to hear about Parker Braun. And but I also expect to hear at some point some news about the Ubben practice complex. A lot of you have probably been over there for, maybe some of you have been there when some of these recruits have been around, or maybe you've just been over there for one function or another. I know Brad really wants to upgrade that, and you know, I've talked about facilities before, about the goal nowadays to be self-contained as possible. They have almost no storage over there. They need an expansion that would accommodate storage. I know Brad wants a kitchen area so that when they have practices on a Saturday morning or that kind of a thing, that they can just, you know, have an omelet bar or whatever it might be and get guys fed there rather than send them out to some other place and reel them back in. And you know, that's what programs are doing nowadays. And I know Brad is trying to do that. And I think Brad's been active in speaking to potential donors about helping to fund that project. And so it's near and dear to him. And I do think there'll be some movement on that. I don't think there's, I think that Josh Whitman had hoped to maybe have some news on hockey now or early this summer. I think that is going to get pushed back a little bit, but I haven't heard anything to make me believe that Josh isn't still, you know, charging ahead with sort of a confident hope that the money can be lined up to green flag that project. But that may be later this summer, it may be this fall, it may be, you know, even late in the calendar year. Don't know. And I'm not sure he knows exactly either, but I'm still really gung-ho on that project, man. I just think it could be really successful. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but given the interest of hockey in the Chicago area and the number of recruitable prospects up there, you get a name guy to be your first head coach of that thing, and it could be cool as heck. So we'll see. What else? You know, a lot of you have asked about, well, what, you know, I retire officially a week from tomorrow on the 31st. I've been doing a series of columns for the Herald and Review on different things I've covered, mainly as an opportunity to dredge up some names we haven't heard about or written about in a long time, to share a few stories or anecdotes. Also to, you know, if you believe that there's such a thing as institutional knowledge, that just means that you're old enough to have been around for a lot of things. And when I'm not in the building anymore, they're just, you know, we have more young people now. I think that's true of a lot of media outlets, and that institutional knowledge is going to go away. And I'm not making it sound like, oh my God, woe is me, how are they ever going to get along? No, not at all. But it's an opportunity at least to share some of it and tell some stories that might not get told and remind people of some things about different sports. And coming up this weekend is my one on Illinois football and Illinois basketball. That'll be Saturday and Sunday in the Herald and Review. I'll try to post those links through Twitter. Really looking forward to that, and having fun. Also thanking some people for their help along the way. Too many to thank. I recognize that. Also, too, I believe that I have an agreement with the Herald and Review that I'm going to write once a week. I'm going to try to write a Sunday piece for the Herald and Review after my retirement, and really looking forward to that. They won't all be about sports. I would say that the majority of them will, and the majority of them will probably be about Illini sports. I hope that you will continue to follow along on Twitter and through our webpage, herald-review.com, and pay attention to those. It'll be an opportunity to weigh in on some things. Josh Whitman is having a media roundtable, sort of a state of the state address on June the 6th, which is after my retirement and 2 days before I leave to go walleye fishing in Minnesota. And I will go over to Champaign to that. I want to hear what Josh has to say. I want to sit in on that. I want to be knowledgeable about that. So I'll certainly be writing something about that. That will be really interesting. And then just cleaning up some odds and ends. How cool was it to see Ben Spillane from the Illinois baseball team named Big Ten Player of the Year? I think that's just awesome. My God, the guy, just went down in a big hole. What the heck was that? The guy, I mean, the Triple Crown winner in the Big Ten statistically, he hit over 400. What did he hit, 407 or something like that? 22 home runs, and I think it was 57 runs batted in. Oh man, that was a divot I chunked down in. And so congratulations to him. Illinois baseball team begins playing the Big Ten tournament tonight Wednesday night against Indiana in Omaha, Nebraska. And the golf team off to the national tournament again. It's become an annual deal for them, starting Friday in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I think that will be on the Golf Channel starting on Monday. And it's just always weird to me that, Illinois Golf, which is their most successful program, and yet as fans, you would like to support them. If this was a football or basketball, you'd go to the games, right? But you can't go to the events for the most part because they never play at home. Now, they did play one. I think they played a dual meet against Bradley this year at Stone Creek in Urbana. However, most of their meets are not in town. Most of them are not in state. And really the best chance to keep in touch with them is when they're in a major event on the Golf Channel, which would be great if we could all do that. That's a great team. They're good enough to win this thing. I don't think they're probably consistent enough to say, well, I'm picking them. They were second in the regional to Oklahoma State. This Nationals is on the Oklahoma State home course, so that's all interesting. But good luck to Mike Small and his group. What a great program and another terrific season. So Memorial Day weekend. Have a great weekend. Be safe, everybody. Have fun, and hope you get to spend time with family and friends, and I hope the weather's good for you. Man, it's beautiful here. The corn is really taken off. I was talking to our farmer the other day. This is as ideal a start to a growing season for corn and beans as you could hope. At least it is right here. I know that if you go in different directions, it can be different because of not enough rain or excessive rain. But our rain has been just perfect. We've had no flooding. The temperatures have been terrific. The growing, it's just taken off. And it's great to see. Of course, now farmers are sometimes a little negative. So he said, yeah, we'll probably have the biggest harvest of all time, and it'll be $1 a bushel. The prices will be bottom out at some historic low. But it's pretty cool to see. What else? Nothing much. Just have a great weekend. Thanks for riding along. I don't know if I can get Alfie. Oh, she just went into the weeds. Let's see if I can get her out of there. And Alfie! Well, I don't know where she is, but I'm going to drive along, and she'll come charging out of the weeds here, and then all of a sudden we'll see her appear. Alfie! There she comes. There she is. What are you doing? Oh, you're covered with stuff. Knucklehead. Well, there she goes. One time my wife and I were walking back here, and she was with us, and I had lost track of her. She went down into the weeds. There's a creek that runs back there in the woods, and all of a sudden I heard what I thought was her charging out of the weeds, and it was a deer who almost leaped into our lap, and it turned out Alfie had chased the deer out of the woods, and oh my God, it scared my wife and I half to death. Get out of the creek! Knucklehead. Oh, I might have saved her from the creek, which saves me from giving her a bath. All right, enough. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.